Hi Sagittarius, this is Sagittarius Tarot, and welcome to your weekly reading that will shed a light on the week starting the 9th of October, Monday till Sunday, the 15th. Alright, welcome to this reading. I'm using for the weeklies the Golden Tarot because I only want you to have golden weeks, right? and I'm also going to use the Angels and Ancestor Oracle cards for some overall wisdom and advice. So, how we're gonna do this reading is basically a spread that looks more like a timeline, right? Where I'm just gonna show you how you progress through the week, right? And so, yeah, that's the format I'm gonna adopt for the weeklies, and it's going to be clarified by one oracle card. So let's begin your reading. You start the week with the Five of Coins in reverse, middle of the week, hump day, death in reverse, and you end the week with the Hanged Man. And so the bottom of the deck is going to be the Weekend, and it's the Chariot. We're also going to pick one oracle card and it's the High Priestess, Harness Mystic Power. Okay, well, let's talk first about the theme of the week. High Priestess, Harness Mystic Power. Okay, so first of all, there's going to be some mystery in this week. Black cat, you see a black cat, you know the old saying. There's mystery, okay, involved, there's magic involved. And so this feels like a continuous trajectory from the readings that we did earlier, the monthly and the daily. And so you can tell and you can feel that Sagittarius is overall englobed with this mysterious energy, right? There's like higher powers working at hand here. There's like bigger powers. You're destined to accomplish so many things. And so the idea of the word harness is to actually, get tapped in to access all these resources. Like you have all these spiritual resources, right? At hand, and so you need to access them. Do you notice the wings in the background? And so they don't seem like they're part of the lady here, right? They look like more they're like on the wall, but actually they're her wings. She just needs to believe in them, to access them, to harness their power in order to fly. Wherever her destination is. And so I'm checking out the illustration at hand, and first of all, grain of salt thing here. I like to read organically things, and I just like to interpret things visually as I see them, okay? And I just act from heart and from intuition. And so I just wanted to slide there, right? Okay. And so, first of all, I'm looking at the feathers around her head. And so this tells me that you have a lot of power to draw from your ancestors. Meaning, you were genetically blessed with certain traits, could be physical, could be mental, could be emotional. Tap into that and use that to your advantage. Inheritance is not always or solely tied to material possessions and resources that is offered by your parents or anyone else, although that is great. But you should never forget about your actual assets, like inherited. Don't take them for granted. Like I don't know, you could be a showstopper, you could be stunning, you could be gorgeous, you could be super smart, you could be very funny, you could be hilarious, you could be super empathetic, uh, uh, charming, romantic, whatever you want to call it, right? So tap into all these resources because all of these form the peacock on her head. And peacock represents independence and individuality and making it happen. And so for me, this tells me that you need to really tap into everything that makes you you in order to show them feathers and, go out there and peacock, right? Term peacocking. Yeah. And now that I'm looking at her tattoos, these horizontal lines with the vertical ones, I don't know. I can't help but feel that I'm getting this download as if they are the remnants of old jails, prison cells, or cages that used to tie up your hands and not allow you to harness the power. And so now that they're gone, you don't forget about them. You know they're still there. You can tell that they're still there. You remember your fears, you remember your insecurities, you remember everything that stopped you before, but you are liberated and you're finally going at it, harnessing that mystic power. I also want to let you know that she's wearing the same earrings that's the mystic cat. So this tells me that she's connected to the cat. And so this tells me that you're connected to source, you're connected to magic, you're connected to everything that is happening around you. All right, enough with this card. Let's go ahead with the timeline of the week. And so this is really interesting. You start the week with the Five of Coins in reverse. Right ahead, I'm going to tell you, lack mindset is no longer serving you and you don't want it anymore. You know how sometimes people sort of have a love-hate relationship with misery because they hate it, but they love to wallow in it and all of that. And so we're all guilty of going through these cycles sometimes of self-pity or other things. Sometimes they're crucial for our emotional cleansing or healing or moving on to the next stage. But in this case and this week, this tells me that you're not interested. So how does that translate into reality? This translates into reality as whenever the week comes, if you get a call from someone who you consider to offer you less than you want, if you get an opportunity that you think is less than you want, if you get a behavior from someone that you think you deserve better, anything that you receive that you used to entertain because you love to people please, or because of your insecurities, or because you want to feel worthy, or because, the great step at the beginning of the week is that you're aware of this now. Now, what you're going to do with it, that's up to you. That's later on. But at least you are aware and you don't want that anymore. So you're going to say, hey, no, I don't know what's the answer, but no, right? This is not welcome. And so let's say if the follow-up question of the other person would be okay, so what do you suggest? We're going to figure this out. But at least now you know that this is not welcome. And so that's a really great first step. The most amazing thing happens when we're aware. If someone is alcoholic, if someone has mental issues, if someone has addictions, no matter what you tell them, no matter what they go through, if they're not aware of their problem, nothing gets fixed. And so the first thing is to say, I am this, or I don't want this, or I want this. Okay? And I'm really proud of you for starting the week at least knowing what you don't want. We move on to how the energy starts to mature midweek. And so you get the Death in reverse. And the Death in reverse is talking about something that still is playing some sort of role in your life. So it's not the right time to shed it and get rid of it completely. Okay, we're gonna talk spring cleaning, fall cleaning, whatever, right? Let's just take that like as a concrete example. You know how sometimes you just like rush into your closet and you wanna like throw that piece of clothing or that thing or that object, whatever. And sometimes it's really rushed. Like it's not something you're just doing it on a whim. And you know like how sometimes you just put it on the side of the door in a bag of trash, and then right before you throw that bag, something happens within your day and you remember that you need something that you were about to throw, and that like now it just came handy, and you're like, damn, like all these years it was just like lying around and I was not using it. And so it's something like that, right? This is an analogy, of course, it's like mundane but like it can be translated to so many depths for this week. And so whatever the thing is that you're rushing for it to die, the old piece of clothing that you're rushing to throw, the job that you're rushing to quit, the opportunity that you don't want anymore, the relationship that you've outgrown, all of these things. I'm not saying they're not gonna die. It's not gonna metamorphose into something more beautiful. Sometimes it's not the relationship, it's an aspect of it. It's like you playing weak in it, or you playing submissive, or etc. Right? And so death reverse means death will happen. The metamorphosis will happen. The end for the new beginning to start will happen. It's just not the time. There's more at play here. And this is so funny because you end the week, like the working week, you end the week with the Hanged Man in reverse. And so now that I'm just looking at it, I just realized that your whole week is reversed. So before I tackle the Hanged Man, we're gonna talk about a full reversed week. Full reversed week for me tells me that this week there's a lot of like loose ends to tie up. There's a lot of things to finish. There's a lot of tidying and organizing house to be done. There's a lot of like emails to respond to. There's a lot of finishing touches to do. There's a lot of final amendments to do before you deliver your artworks. There's a lot of anything, okay? And so I like it. I like it because you know what? These last stages usually like there's a lot of pleasure to savor them and to just, you know, do all these little tasks, because at least you get the opportunity to feel like you finished so many things. It's like a huge to-do list, but it's like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then you just like start ticking. This is done, this is done, this is done, this is done. And so this is a great week. And also this is a great week to review anything, to have a second chance at like, would I adopt this strategy? Let's say if I decided to change my behavior, is this the final, you know, attitude, or should I revisit and maybe tweak, adjust? You know what I'm saying? And so you get the Hangman in reverse, which tells me that at the end of the week, you're growing a bit impatient and you just, you know, sort of like you want to push yourself to just finish everything. And this is great. You know why? Because sometimes when we put for ourselves an imaginary deadline due to any reason that comes from the inside, it's like we force ourselves to finish stuff that we would have been too lazy not to do. And so this is amazing. That growing impatience is going to tell you to, you know, like sort of command you and gives you the fuel to finish all of these things, to finish this chapter, to finish the mundane, because you are ready to harness the mystic power. You are ready to rise above. You are ready to be above and beyond. You don't want to be like losing or wasting more time with these mundane little things that were necessary for the big play, but time's up. And come on, look, you know, your weekend card is the Chariot. And so the Chariot talks about like complete, utter uber moving forward, like full speed, full on. See, growing impatience with all these little minutiae that you finished eventually gives you these wings, imaginary wings, that they're no longer imaginary, that you access them. And so now you're into the chariot energy. You're like, go, go, go. And you have this drive in you. And the reason why you have this such a drive, because you keep on thinking like, oh, I'm so proud of myself. I have finished so many of these little things that were piling up for like ages this week. And fuck, like my old plate is actually cleared. Now I can like fill it up with new things. My old karma is done. I can acquire new karma, etc. Right? And so this chariot is like moving so fast, so happy, marching on, and nothing can stop it. And so the good thing about the chart is like there's like two ways that you can go. You can play it. You can play, you know, you can take two ways. You can take two decisions. You have two options, two strong options, and sometimes you can even play two different strengths of your character and two different strategies, etc., etc., etc. As long as these two go in parallel, that's what is needed, right? The whole idea is like for them to go in parallel. You don't want to play with two different strengths of yours, let's say, that contradicts each other, and then each one of them is like pulling you in a different direction, right? That's sometimes the danger of like chariot. You need to find things in your personality that complement each other, or actions too, in your actions that complement each other, that like are full throttle, right? Okay, so yeah. Oh my God. What a week. What a week. I love it, Sagittarius. I hope you love this weekly format. And thank you for your patience with me, because I'm like really experimenting here and I'm trying to offer you different styles of readings for different purposes. And I'm going to keep on populating this channel. So thank you for your support. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your subscription. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for sharing my content, and thank you for believing in me and in yourself. Remember, we are blessed, we are connected, we are aligned, we are open to love and energy. We are Sagittarius, we are Saggies, for fuck's sake. We aim high, we shoot high, and we reach that destination. So I love you all and have an amazing week. And I can't wait for you to tell me all about it in the comment section, about all these little things that you finished this week, about how you harnessed the mystic power. And once the weekend is here, how you got that party rolling, baby. All right? Much love, kisses. I love you.